slash crit, and you can of course go for that very, very non-interactive poke style. On the other side though, Ultra Prime, you're not going to have the same kind of bot lane meta. What have you got left in the tank? Hovering over that Sivir is going to be locked in. Does that mean you're going to get a Lulu later into that draft as well to pair it up with? That has been one of those choice lane pairings. And Ning will pick up the Maokai as opposed to the other side of the match which they're playing, the Sejuani in game 1.
They get the Maokai for themselves, of course. We did say earlier we want to see something kind of an engage with the side of the Maokai as a secondary as such. We'll wait to see what they end up going for. Top Esports now with the Varus locked in. Excuse me, no Ashe to be paired with it for the moment, but I was just about to say the Heimerdinger works exceptionally well into something like a Sivir. So many little things to kind of keep an eye out for. The turrets, of course, the piercing arrow to combo with the Varus means that total bot lane priority is going to be in the hands of Top Esports.
Yeah, and those Heimerdinger turrets are really annoying short-range AD carries because when you're looking to work your way into a fight, the way that I refer to Heimerdinger is an anti-carry. He doesn't necessarily kill your carry, but he makes them feel very, very annoyed by just being really inconvenient. You build up something like a Ryze, and you throw a grenade into the backline, or you have your turrets splashing that magic damage slow onto a lot of different folks. The Sivir Calm is actually going to be the pairing, so it's not going to be that Lulu, but the double speed up. This is the Season 5 bot lane combo. In fact, this is a complete Season 5 draft. For those that remember this was the SKT 2015 special. You have a Maokai running at you with a bajillion move speed for his engage, like flash W into it, or you know, using his big engage potential at that point because that move speed makes it so much easier. On the other side, though, you're still going to get crushed early in this lane by the Varus Heimerdinger. That is very hard to outpush. And then with Tien on the aggressive side of this jungle matchup, Vi tends to bully around the Maokai early on. Maokai's left having to respond to plays. You're in a position again where Ultra Prime are maybe looking down the barrel of Top Esports, getting control of a game, and then starting to really give them problems after they're ahead.
A couple of problems, but see how they're able to deal with those problems. Of course, you're having the Karma, like you said, not able to. I just said this earlier, is that the Karma is not exactly able to burst out the Heimerdinger turrets with that Q for the first few levels, but should be able to garner up a little bit more strength as the game does go on. Top Esports now trying to see if they can maybe get away some of these mid lane champions that are kind of plaguing Rookie, or might play Rookie. Rookie's got plenty in his own champion pool, probably why they don't mind seeing a couple of bans thrown his way. The Silas, the Azir, the Jace.
Still up.
And
yeah,
the
Syndra as well, which Qing has really liked.
So
anyway,
I think
does that
this
mean
is...
I think this is Kassadin threats and
exactly.
say if you lock in something like a Syndra, which Qing really likes, you're going to really suffer for that. QingTian hovering over that Darius, which of course you got that massive triple kill with, which I'm sure you've seen a million times if you've been watching the highlight reels between the games. But this pick, the Ryze, it has been first pickable. It has been left through to 4-5 in this game. Renekton on the other side, technically still a flex, can go between mid and top lane, but most of the time when it's mid lane, you want it paired up with a jungler that can really make the most of it. So you're expecting that Renekton will go towards that top lane, which means that QingTian has his pick of the litter really to go in towards that matchup. Seen an awful lot of things which can be hovered and be favorites of QingTian. Of course, the Xente was played in that last game to great effect. Decides for more frontline this time though and says, all right, we have that initiation from that Vi. We have a long range backline of the Varus and the Heimerdinger at least. The Ryze kind of filling in that mid range as well. Very good front to back though from Top Esports into what Ultra Prime have shown.
Now we see what they want to try and take into that mid lane. You would imagine it's still going to be the Sion into Renekton. I could be wrong. Could technically be a Karma mid as well. Plenty to be thinking about. Ooh.
Oh, we got some weird stuff coming out. Okay, all right, where are we going?
Awesome.
So, this could be full AP Cho'Gath mid. We have seen some builds of some tankier stuff where you just kind of like go towards... We have seen Heartsteel Cho'Gath in some rare situations, but since that item's kind of been tuned down a bit, less so the case now. This could also be, though, the Renekton mid into the Ryze. We did talk, it can contest the push from Ryze early, particularly when you go for something like Iron Spike Whip. You can also go for kill combos on the Ryze. You go for a Prowler's Claw, like the Renekton Blade of the Rune King into that Prowler's Claw build. This is something which you were asking for a little bit, Oisin, in terms of something a bit more explosive in terms of different picks. Cho'Gath, great. I've been doing a little bit of searching, a little bit of researching in the background. This is only the second Cho'Gath game globally we have seen this year. The first one was by Rascal. He won it, won 1-3-7. And I I've seen a fair amount of this in solo queue. I've seen it around the place. As I was kind of saying, it's been moonlighting a little bit as an AP mid laner, particularly when you have some of those mages like a Victor or an Azir. You can occasionally catch them out with your Q and have some kill threats. It's always been a high elo solo queue special, but in this game, Hery looks like he's going towards that grass, going towards something a little bit tankier towards that top side. Maybe something like a Jack Show to be a really strong front line. But either way, decent answer into the Sion, if a bit of a historic one.
Very historic matchup there, and we'll see if it ends up being the key to unlocking this particular game, or if it doesn't really do a lot after that. Rookie gonna walk straight into Qing, but with that Ruin Prison available, it's not really gonna work out the same way. Baolan and Rookie now trying to walk. Sorry, Baolan and Doggo, excuse me. Thinking back to 2018. But with that W, Ricochet is coming out. This is, again, why you have such an issue with the Heimerdinger coming into the Karma. JackeyLove just got hit by the Mantra Q. And it ends up being a pretty bad trade for Baolan. But now Tien roaming up here, trying to see if he can make a bit of a difference with both bot lanes level 1.
So I believe that top saw the ward go down from Ultra Primes. They understand that Tien can't just walk through that river into that lane. See that? Again, those awful spikes, the E from the Cho'Gath, very good at anti-tank kind of pressure, percent HP damage on them. Very, very impactful.
Baolan!
So damaged, man!
Oh, he gets flash away, but that's more and more pressure, and this is the bot lane that we kind of said, look, you went with a kill lane last time, Ultra Prime. This is when you try to go toe-to-toe. It's why you don't see many teams going toe-to-toe with the bot lane of top esports. They're just so damn oppressive.
And they are. It's been... caught this out as something that Cold talks about an awful lot as well over on the LEC. Oh, this is the last time that Flandre played it last year, very early on into spring. But talking about this bot lane, it really is about the first couple of waves. That priority gives you so much to play towards. It really isn't about ganking top lane in so much of this meta. It can be occasionally, but when you have control over that bot lane, you take a good trade, it allows your junglers to do so much more. It allows you to go towards early dragons, stack them up. Qing going towards this mid lane though, big
look at Furum, Bramble Smash does not do enough damage. Qing flashes, but Tien is around him. Now Ning in a lot of trouble, not going to go down just yet, but this is top esports to a T. They know where the danger lane is and they cover it.
Yeah, and one of the reasons I was a little caught out by that is because I thought that was kind of dangerous. Tien in the wings, but Tien always where he needs to be. One of the very best junglers in the LPL turns up to save his equally all-star mid laner. Demolish on that tower, because Hery can get all the tower damage down. This is Hery's first ever Cho'Gath game as well. Never played the champion before. See if he can make an impact on it as his mid laner falls behind. Tien gets out of the enemy jungle with style and grace. And once again, top esports find themselves punishing some of these early plays.
And just very smart play, recognizing, look, we're pretty confident. They don't have enough damage straight off to kill you off, so keep the Vi in the vicinity. Make sure we know where we're going to be playing and where we're going to be trying to set up. And
is that what Vi stands for, vicinity?
Perhaps, I don't know. It stands for violence according to her, so we'll see if they're able to make anything else work from that. But this is just such a bad setup now for this Renekton, because not only are you losing out on the wave, but the early kills not going your way is really going to hinder you going into that mid game.
Yeah, and this is one of the reasons why when we came through to that red 5 pick, wondering whether the Renekton was going mid and top, we kind of called it going top lane, because if you want to play Renekton mid, you kind of want to combo that up with something that can do a lot more early damage. Utilize the fact that you've got that stun into so much damage. Didn't have that damage. Mark putting down an Ignite to try and send that trade. And once again, we're back to mid lane.
We are back to mid lane. Qing needs to be very... Oh, he doesn't have to be careful anymore because he's now with his ancestors. Definitely not the moment you need it. Ning does not have a flash, by the way, so one more Vault Breaker should be good. Bramble Smash not going to come out in time. That is a 3-0-0 Tien, and already this game is no longer a game of, death by 1,000 cuts. This is one clean guillotine to the neck.
Yeah, this is just the head of the snake's fallen off. Ultra Prime sat there trying to find direction again in this game. And again, if you're going to play around mid jungle with this kind of combo, it gets very, very difficult. Renekton mid doesn't quite have the damage to finish you off all by himself. He needs a little bit more help than a Maokai can give you in the very early levels. Not the Maokai is 0 damage, but it's not the same as someone like a Sejuani or a Nidalee or one of the historic ones we've seen with that bot lane, though decent enough damage themselves. At least taking a good trade for them in that 2v2, but this map is falling apart. It's not getting easier here.
It is not. Rupture will land, but it won't do you any good here, Hery. The boy who did not live. It's not the greatest of spin-offs, to be perfectly honest. But yeah, this is just Tien all around the map. Just being probably just being him, just being Tien. This is why every single year we come at the end of the split and saying, you know what, regular season MVP is probably going to be Tien, because he just does this all the time.
Yeah, he's locking eyes with Karsa across the table and saying, huh, jungle competition A, 4-0, building towards his first items as well. So much gold in this, going towards what looks to be that Campunk Chainsword with the healing on the other side. Actually, I understand that being a first item in this game, especially with having an AP's mid laner. Rookie though, also another beneficiary of this. This Renekton is meant to be able to contest prio. It's meant to be able to contest the roaming pressure of a Ryze early on. You can just shove and roam. That's not going to be the case this game now. Rookie in complete control of this lane, and that will start filtering out across the map sooner or later. Even in this top side, yes, CS advantage towards Hery on this top side, but it's not really enough to even out the woes that Ultra Prime are suffering in this game so far. So Ultra Prime, what do they do at this point? You have bot lane locked under tower. We kind of thought that would happen with the Varus and Heimerdinger. Your jungle is behind. Your mid lane, which is supposed to roam, is now locked in lane and behind. You are really, once again, held in check, held in stalemate by Ultra Prime. What do you do at this point? You've got to get creative.
Felt the creativity was the Cho'Gath, but it's not to be for the moment. We'll wait to see where they're able to try and make something, if they can even make something.
That's the gold star with the "you tried" on it.
Yeah.
Because I didn't mind that.
A for effort.
At this point, I'm almost like, wouldn't this just have been better with AP Cho'Gath mid and just try to play around the Renekton on the top side and pulling up the Sion instead? But Hery doing his very best, has that ultimate on cooldown though, so no kill pressure. And yeah, just sat at top Esports, just locking Ultra Prime into lane. They completely lane locked them. It is congested. It's like rush hour across these lanes. No way for this traffic to move across the map. And again, top Esports. As much as they've had more skirmishes in this early game, it is a fairly calm and collected early game. It's been calculated, it's been considered, and it is absolutely brutal.
Yeah, that's the scarier thing about this, is that not only is this an explosive early game lead for the Vi in particular, and of course for the Ryze as well, getting all those assists, but this has been just the most bog standard of plays, it almost feels like, coming out from top Esports. It feels like it was very, very much thought out, very methodical in how we wanted to kind of make this work. Move into mid, cover that gank coming back into mid, no flash. Go and get this kill. Go top side, make that one work. Here we go, though. Choo-choo, the train comes into the mid lane. We're going to see Qing dropping down his ultimate alongside Ning. Flash gonna be there. QingTian gonna drop down the smash and see if he can keep himself alive. Flash forward into the CC, and Hery gets the chomp down. Gonna have a nice little stack for himself. And this is why I like the Cho'Gath. It's a little bit different to what we're normally seeing, and it does end up paying dividends, at least in that way.
Yeah, that's a pretty good kill to have. It means that also Hery gets to put another wave into that top lane. Probably gets another demolish proc on tower. You get a Herald. You are leaving this Varus alone with the bot side. You've lost 3 plates there. You're losing a whole wave of it. Despite the kill, most teams across the world prefer to leave their AD carry, especially if you're already ahead in that lane. Leaving your AD carry alone in that lane to just keep winning harder. That team tends to be the answer to these Herald plays. A little bit surprised by QingTian going towards that Herald. It felt like a little bit mistimed. If you had the Varus in place, if you had the Ryze being able to respond, maybe you could look for a play around that point. But it felt a little bit oddly discoordinated for top from what we come to expect from them from their first few series, and of course the first game of the series.
Yeah, curious enough actually, just as we're talking about QingTian, it looks like he's going towards an Abyssal Mask as a very early item with Spectral Cowl, so I mean, I could be wrong, it could be a Rod of Ages, but
well, double AP topside. Yeah, double AP topside, so it is fairly efficient on that front, not going towards that Mythic first though.
I haven't seen that item in a while.
Yeah, I was just... I haven't seen that item in such a long time. When he said, oh, it's building into a missile mask, I'm like, is it?
Yeah.
What's it build out of? I haven't seen that one in a little while.
It's a missile mask
honestly,
with a spectral
you could tell me
yeah.
that builds into like an even shroud or something like that, and I'd probably believe you. I have no idea what these items build out of for tanks. I don't play tanks anyway. But QingTian's going to have to try and find himself a way to tank this situation. 1v2. Got some MR. He'll have to survive this, I don't think.
Yeah, he's got a hell of a lot of damage being put in on top of him now. He should just be om-nom-nommed in about 2 seconds. Flat doesn't even need to try and get him killed off by that. Still gets killed, though, at the end of it all by the Rupture Spike. So Tien not having a great time on this top side. Hery showing why they were comfortable picking this into the Sion and showing why it's powerful.
Yeah, at least like, you know in Terminator, when you've got like the thumb going down into the molten lava, it feels like QingTian pushing the W key to shield out the Cho'Gath ult, so at least Hery doesn't get another stack on that ultimate. It's a consolation prize with that one. Qing taking a decent trade down the bot side, but is behind in gold, and doesn't build himself into something like the Prowler Squall just yet. Looks like he will build towards that later, but we're getting to the point now. You have Ryze in the side lane, vibing onto roam between these lanes as well. Very interested to see how Tien chooses to spend his time around the rift with so much gold in pocket, and his next ultimate being probably a big game changer. Would love to see where he chooses to pull that ultimate. Eyes on that via the jungle.
Eyes on the buy. He does have a... Actually, only about a 800, or probably a bit more, to be perfectly honest, in that, but in terms of the actual items and what they're manifesting into, it's only about a gem of a difference between himself and Ning, so Tien is ahead, but not monstrously so that it would be a significant difference between these next two fights. It's a minute before the next dragon spawns. It's going to be the Chem Dragon. We'll wait to see what soul is available.
So, teleport's coming up for both of these top laners. Potentially an angle for QingTian to impact the next fight. Of course, he can just walk down the river and ult his way down. Sadly, not using the Steam Train skin, or rather the art. I just not even the Steam Train, but like the, you know, the big choo-choo, basically. It's Project, right? It's a Project or is it Mecha Sion? Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's Mecha Sion.
Anyway, he's not using that. He's not using that, which makes me sad. Because that is by far the best skin Sion has. But Hery's just out there holding into account both these champions having TP, Dragon spawning in the next 20 seconds. It is just wet noodle, wait for the duty in the top side.
Yeah, both have significant sustain, both have significant CC to not die. I will say if either Tien or Ning goes up towards the top side, it could lead to a kill to either side. It would take a fair bit of time before either of them burn through the health bars of the Cho'Gath or the Sion, but now Cartel being dropped up from his top side. Tien gonna go straight into mid. Doggo flashes away, but he was followed up by JackeyLove, and now JackeyLove gets his Immortal Shield bow pop. Oh, those Maokai saplings just expired as they were walking towards that brush. As we can see Ning looking to try and catch out Mark here. There's no real follow-up after that, so I feel like that's just a bit of a weird decision to make when you're not really even gonna go for the fight.
Yeah, well, that's the vial that we were looking for. Goes straight towards that mid lane. Of course, the Herald goes towards top, gets plates off of that top turret. Doesn't lead to it being killed. Rookie very happy to sit in his own side lane. So top, they see kind of like the imbalance of members across the map and say, well, if you're top side, Maokai's not got an ult to cover this mid lane. Use the vial there. Managed to get the kill on the Doggo. Took him the whole game up until the Nexus fell to die in game 1. Not really in this one. Oh, Qing just completely lost track in the jungle. Gonna go down for that. Tien. Oh, he dies!
Gets a kill back. 3-level difference between Rookie and Doggo, but still respecting the flash because he does not believe his realm warp will be enough to be able to save him. Could he be getting caught out? So little moments here, little glimmers of silver linings.
Though.
Yeah, I was gonna say big like, shutdown.
That is what that would have been like 400, 450 gold on top of the 300 that you get for that kill. That's like double to triple the amount of gold you get for a kill goal. So now you have to consider this Renekton as actually more like 3 and 3 or 2 and 3 rather than the one that he sat on. Gets him through to a Prowler Squall, gets him through to a little bit of extra itemization, which, especially when this Renekton is going to be in side lanes, maybe looking to burst out Rookie with someone like Ning trying to kind of combo up with them. Non-trivial. That's actually something to pay attention to. Big shutdown to give over. We talked about how Vi was important with that ultimate in that mid lane. Also makes a second important play right after that, which is dying.
Well, Tien still with a fairly decent start to this game, regardless of the shutdown or not. Top lane being crashed in, as Hery does not have any mana to speak of. You kind of come back into this lane. You're 1 minion away from the Sivir having her coal being fully stacked. So annoying. But another little bit of gold to go over there. I will say JackeyLove has done exceptional on this Varus right now. Has a 30 CS lead. Probably just going to be a little bit underneath it as these minion waves just finally get crashed in. But again, little things like that can be the difference maker between an item spike. He'll have his Guinzoos very, very shortly, whereas the Kraken Slayer was only just finished up for Doggo. Rift Herald gets picked up now for top esports, and they are still 3,000 gold ahead. So with 2 dragons, they could be on a course for a pretty early soul, all things considered. Hery does land the CC there onto Mark. Just needs to be a little bit careful with how far ahead he goes. Who's going to dissuade any more pushing forward?
Sion ult.
You know what the funny thing is? I was like, oh, maybe I'll hype this up. Nothing's going to happen. Everyone's backing away. So I'm just going to say we, and we're going to move on from that.
I was like, I wonder what happens. Because you've got a lot of gold in pocket for someone like Doggo as well. But Rookie being in a side lane, I think that's probably the deciding factor for top esports to not commit hard to that. Out of the way. Tian. Nice Baolan in that top jungle. Not going to capitalize on that either, though. And we're getting through to a point where it really is about that kind of 1-3-1.
Rookie, no
balancing
flash.
all of these factors. Rookie, he's probably going to get chopped in.
Yeah, he's almost certainly going to fall down, you would imagine. Yep, there is Hery with the nom. Now Tien needs to try and make a counterplay here. Good piercing arrow keeps Tien healthy while he finishes off the kill, but Doggo gets himself a bark back, and that's going to be a 2-for-1 tradable to Prime and top esports. They're letting it slip a little bit. You can't just let these little moments happen.
This is not nearly as clean because top esports, they went through into a 1-3-1. They have the Ryze this time. Rookie's obviously one of the great global Ryzes, has a long history on that champion. But after that mid lane play, you think, okay, you know, things are going to fizzle out. No, you're still in their side of the jungle. You don't have that same ability to really zone out. Everyone controls the front from that. Sivir is popped to help to get closer to the play as well. And top are only really bailed out by the fact that they have a Varus arrow coming in to kind of even up something or other. But yeah, this is not as clean as that first game. Still obviously an advantage over top esports. They have themselves 2 dragons, leads on various members. But Tian fought out a couple of times going a little too deep this time. And I'm not lacking for damage this second game, particularly with that Cho'Gath ult being able to chop down a couple of people in a row. Hery on this Cho'Gath is going to become a little bit scary.
A little bit scary. He's going to become very scary. Tien now up on this top side. He's going to look for Hery, but without a flash to close the distance with that Bolt Breaker, it's going to be very difficult to really take him out. It'll take a long time to burst through his particular health bar as he's stacked up very, very nicely for himself. I'll keep an eye on the bottom left to make sure I can see how many stacks he's gotten so far with that Cho'Gath ult. But yeah, again, looking very solid for the moment. Very happy to see that, you know, Ultra Prime are keeping in tow with this game. But Shelly in the mid lane now, and Varus as big as he is, it's hard to cover these waves when you're so short range with the Sivir.
Yeah, so that's going to be the wave brute forced into that mid lane turret. Mid lane priority achieved by top esports. Dragon is alive. Essentially head towards their soul point at this point. Ultra Prime not looking to fight. They teleported back up towards the top side. Maybe they can finally crack open one of these turrets. Been locked out all of those structures so far, but this does mean that with that teleport to top side, top don't need to be worried about something like a Cho'Gath teleport or a Clanport teleporting in to just join the fray. Is that JackeyLove can remain a lot more safe in this mid lane as they take their time securing this dragon, securing that soul point towards that Ocean Soul. In this game, very, very valuable. Lots of tanks tend to use the Ocean Soul better than most because they stay alive and get more regen through these big fights. So top esports get themselves into a good position regarding that. And Rookie also taking out something in the side lane.
I love what he's doing here as well. He's making sure as many minions as possible die, so you're not getting the gold off of that. Gets himself set up to kind of just take that turret as easy as he likes. That mid lane turret is a sneeze away from falling down. So that's going to be another turret going down. Again, this is good plays from Ultra Prime, but we're still seeing a 4,000 gold lead from Top Esports. Nothing has happened, but they've gained so much just off of the state of the map. And I think that's the big thing we always got to keep an eye out for, is how teams deal with the state of the map. Is Hery, he's pretty tanky, but they're going to fade out the Maokai ultimate. Will be absorbed there by the Heimerdinger, who, with the Chain of Corruption, should get himself out. QingTian goes in with a TP, but should be fine. Qing on the other side of this was in the dominance, but separated away from his fight. It's kind of a 1v4, but now they flash in on the QingTian, and he's got nowhere to go. He's gonna fall down and die. And that's just how it is. I just realized it's Tien on Qing, and then QingTian in top lane.
Yes, I
just realized that as I completely messed up the call.
Do I set this up, or do I just let you make the mistake at some point? I am a cruel person. I let it happen. But
it's for the joke I made at your expense earlier, isn't it?
Yeah. I'm sure there will be many more of them in the future, friend. I'm sure there are many of them. But in that fight, it looked like Top Esports were playing themselves some Dance Dance Revolution. It really was just, let's see how many skill shots we can dodge. I really want to applaud Mark for that last fight as well, landing a really key stun onto Hery, so he could walk up and chomp and kind of finish off that kill. Mark tanks the Maokai ult, puts the turret down and says, okay, cool, fight's over, try and walk through this Ryze turret. And they absolutely can't do that, but Mark goes to this river again, picks up a Soul Flat. And Top Esports, recovering a little bit from a couple of their missteps earlier in this game, sparing their blushes somewhat by the map state, as you were saying. That's to deny jungle camps, deny some side lane farms to add up to that gold total. It's less about the crazy big plays, but that slow burn, but leading to something bigger here.
Yeah, Cleanse is going to be used by Doggo and Slash to keep himself alive, but they actually find JackeyLove here, and Hery gets himself a nice nom-nom-nom, so a little bit of an extra move here, as you can see a 4v5 ensuing. Tien, though, is still very, very big. Baolan putting himself in front of the Top Esports jungler to make sure he cannot get away, as Qing picks up that kill. Hery is coming, and Hery is getting bigger. Qing is moving forward. This is Ultra Prime, but look at Rookie. These health bars are so low. Rookie gets one. Rookie's looking for another one. You can see it in his eyes. They're going to get another one as well. Rookie has just made this fight his own by just sitting on the backside and lasering the side of Ultra Prime.
It's still a lost fight, but who the hell needs an AD carry when you've got yourself a Rookie on Ryze? Machine guns his way through as many people as he can on Ultra Prime at the death of that play. It's still a one play for Ultra Prime, however. They managed to take down JackeyLove very early into that fight, get another stack onto Cho'Gath, of course. You cap out at 6 when you chomp on minions, but the more this happens, the tankier and more problematic that Cho'Gath is going to be. See that? A lot of gold goes on, 500 gold shut down to Hery on that Cho'Gath. And QingTian can't threaten Doggo the same way. Baolan, serious credit to playing blocker, playing a shutdown onto ning, onto Tien, who can't quite finish off the AD carry. And then after this point, it really is just, well, you're down so many members. A little bit of an overcalculation, because Ryze still exists. Ryze is a lot of damage.
Ryze does so much. He does get ruptured here, which I feel like is the little scary moment for Rookie, but doesn't really mean too much in the grand scheme of things. So we come back into live, and everyone's setting themselves up around this Baron. The next dragon in a minute's time. Again, Soul Point will be huge. And I was going to say, we haven't had a check on the Maokai just at the moment, but that is 475 true damage plus 10% of your bonus health. That is a significant chunk of anyone's health bar should and when he tries to use it. The rest of Top Esports need to be keeping a very keen eye now on what is happening with this Cho'Gath. So, with him having his own abyssal map, we haven't seen it in years, and then we see two in the same game. It's such a curious thing, the LPL. Things that just don't exist for any other league. We just happen to find them.
Yeah, but when you have tanks which are this impactful and have this kind of itemization, you see that, it's heading up towards 4,000 HP for both of these tanks, it changes the way that you can engage, right? Engaging past the Cho'Gath is just really annoying. Because that Top Esports actually are, once again, sending the Ryze to the side lane. Qing, though, maybe force the issue. Dominus pop.
Yeah, the Dominus pop, as is the Maokai ultimate, it's not going to mean anything else apart from JackeyLove's flash, because it needs to put the damage down onto the tank, so it needs a bit more back onto Ning. Ning's in a lot of trouble. If he's not careful, he will fall, and that's your jungler without anyone to help you. Rookie's not even a part of this. This is a 4v5. I looked at the bottom left, like, why are we showing a picture-in-picture? This is Top Esports 4v5ing and winning.
Exactly. As soon as Qing does not find the angle on that Renekton, things were going to get difficult because you can play this slow top Esports. You can play it slow because both teams have a actually tanky tank. Rookie is staying in the base. He has teleport. He's and they still.
They get it away from Ultra Prime, or sorry, Ultra Prime get away from them. Stop Esports now looking for this fight. Look at JackeyLove just putting in work. Rookie is ending the game. Guys, your base triple kill, quadra kill coming in for JackeyLove. And you know he's got blood in his eyes. He wants this penta, but they are miles away and there's no realm warp to break the distance.
Yeah, that was the objective bounty for Ultra Prime. At least managed to chomp away that objective, another stack onto the Cho'Gath, but that means you don't have the chomp for the fights. You didn't even have the one fight, but even with a rookie not there, top Esports, they once again hold Ultra Prime over the flame and say, look, you gotta find a fight at some point. It's very, very difficult. Tien doing what we struggled to do in that last series. Spell shield, smiting with spell shield onto the Sivir after Max to land the ult that carry, but Doggo still managing to cycle a little bit longer, but just not on the same level as JackeyLove, who's just rattling through these arrows onto the back.
I mean, it just feels like it was a little bit of a split call coming out for Ultra Prime. They kind of got everything they wanted in a sense, and I'll explain what I mean by that is that they stopped the Dragon Soul and Qing got back to stop the game from ending. So technically speaking, they did do everything, but that's 8,000 damage to JackeyLove in one team fight. That he is so good on this Varus. It just feels like you cannot give this champion. We say this every single split in every single meta about JackeyLove. There is just one champion that he is so damn proficient on that you just can't give it away. And it looks like Varus is going to be that for 2023.
And a player like JackeyLove, it feels like if the team fight doesn't start with him dying, he ends that fight. He is just so good at being the crazy clutch cleanup AD carry. Tien going towards the side lane, not pulling out the ultimate, not wanting to dive too deep and get flashed back into that turret, but top Esports taking everything outside of the base. Baron buff achieved, Rookie able to push in on that mid lane, hold that realm warp threat. Should top look for a fight on the bottom side of the map, and Ultra Prime, much like that first game, now in a untenable position where they can't fight, but they also can't stall either. The wave play is going to get that much harder.
Yeah, every single wave that hits is going to put more and more damage. I will say, still very short range on the side of top Esports, so not the easiest to get onto when you don't have a full wave. You can see Rookie there just got to keep his cannon minion popped up and alive, while the bot lane one does a little bit of extra work on top of it. So more and more pressure being pushed down here onto Ultra Prime. They haven't folded just yet. They're close. There's definitely a little bit of sway, a little bit of movement from the side of Ultra Prime's tower, but they haven't dropped just yet. As I say that, they're going to go straight in onto Doggo, who does cleanse and flash away. Chain of Corruption doesn't really land onto anybody of significance. Rookie flashes forward, gets a double, and this game is done. This series is over. Blink and you'll miss it. Rookie has just decided they wanted to win the series.
It has been a baton pass from Rookie to JackeyLove, back to Rookie again to see who can carry these fights harder. You're definitely tanky, Hery, but you're not there to carry your team across this finish line. The first Cho'Gath we've seen in a year, the first in Hery's career, cannot lead to a win. It is a pretty dominant 2-0 from top Esports on the day.
Yeah, very well played from them, and obviously what we expected as well. Look, we can talk about a lot of different things about Ultra Prime and be as positive as we like, but at the end of the day, top Esports were still coming into this as absolute favorites. And look, they dropped away Weibo 2-1. They beat Nixon Pajamas last week in a 2-1 as well. This was a clean 2-0. They go into next week, week 5. They have IG and EDG, and this is where I want to start to see the momentum being pushed forward here from the side of top Esports. This is where I want to see them really grab hold of their destiny and solidify themselves the top 2 in the front of playoffs.
Yeah, and I think it's really worth noting that week 5 is a big boiling point for a lot of our top teams. EDG playing off against a lot of the big teams too, and they're another team which are up there in our kind of presumed top of the standings. It's very hard to tell with the LPL when you have different strengths of schedules. We're getting to the point where we really get to see who our contenders are going to be. Top Esports, we think they're going to be one of them. When you see games like this, it is very hard to say otherwise. JDG obviously staring off across the across the table as well. And with so many individual performances across so many different teams, despite this being a year of great change for the LPL, I don't think the LPL is any lesser for it. These teams are starting to find their feet. These players are definitely starting to find form, and we're into. You can see like you've got the barrel of gunpowder, and there's like this trail leading to it, and it's getting very, very close to exploding.
I mean, I love that you bring that up as well, because I do think, especially within the LPL community itself, was that you saw a lot of names leave. A lot of different rosters were breaking apart. The RNG, you know, Xiaohu leaving that dynasty, Scout moving off, Viper leaving EDG, you know, the world champions from 2021, basically kind of breaking apart that entire team. It felt like we were losing an awful lot of different players. It felt like we were losing a lot of different kind of, you know, setups. But like you just said, it does feel like everyone's just found themselves on their feet, especially our top teams, especially the teams like the JDGs, the top esports, the BLGs, and the Weibos. They've just gotten stronger, and it really does feel like moving forward that we can still be excited for these teams. And look, I want to be real with you. There are 17 teams in this league. Gonna be a couple of bad teams. I'm sorry, like that's just how it's gonna be.
But, but now we get to see how good the good teams are, because looking at week 5, we have like top versus IG, JDG, EDG. We have like LNG kind of in the mix as well. We've got EDG top esports to end out that week. This is where we really get like the real gargantuan hammer blows start to land. And when you have matches like this, matches like JDG we've seen over the last couple of weeks as well, you cannot help but be excited for it. So, you know, call your mom, call your brothers and sisters, get them to watch the LPL next week. Tune in to see how things build up into that. Because top esports coming in on this run of form with this kind of game, very hard to see any kind of dull games coming out of these teams.
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree, and I really do think that top esports just need to kind of get these games going, make sure they don't show too much of a weakness, and deal what's thrown at them. I like that Ultra Prime tried something new. The Cho'Gath looked like it actually had a couple of different avenues, but look, when you're against Rookie, Tien, JackeyLove, like these names that are just known throughout the, you know, the world effectively at this point.
Cho'Gath, cute.